Shri Gurubhyo Namaha children. Welcome to the online teaching academy Ekalaiva. In the previous class, we got to know about the different communities and their livelihood. We got to know the people who lived in the mountains, the plains, the plateaus and the desert. We even got to know the movement of the people from the Shivaliks, and later on we got to know about the Lahul Spiti. What did they do over there? How did the Dangas welcomed by the Konkani peasants? Now, in this chapter, we are going to read about the colonial rule and the pastoralist life. Shall we move on to the lesson, children? Yes. Now, we are going to read that under colonial rule, how did the life of pastoralists change dramatically? Their grazing grounds shrank, their movements was regulated, and the revenue which they had to pay started to increase, children. And you ultimately you can see to it that agricultural stock declined and their trades and crafts were adversely affected. Now, whatever we have seen and whatever I just told you is said to be very much profitable for the Britishers. And of course, the only one personalities who were affected by this is the pastoralist. We will move on to the topic, children, and we will get to know how these process took on. Shall we move on, children? Yes. Now, when the colonial people came to our country, they came just as traders and they started to monopolize, and finally they started to dominate us. They were very much interested in our natural resources and they wanted to yield more. For that, they did not want any of the wastelands to be left free, either for grazing or any for any reason as such. So all the wastelands was made into a cultivable land. This was the first step taken by the colonial people, children. So the wasteland was made into a cultivable land, children. Absolute, this was the first minus point for the pastoralist. All the grazing land became cultivated farms, and uncultivated land was said to be an unproductive land for the colonial people, children, as they don't get revenue or agricultural production. So they wanted to cultivate the wasteland not only to get the profit but also to cultivate a rare product, that is cotton, jute, and wheat, which is said to be a scarce product in their hometown. In the mid 19th century, all the waste lands was implemented to just cultivate and no graziers was left. And because of this, all the lands which was said to be a wasteland was given to certain individuals in order to cultivate the land. And you had a village headman who used to supervise these farmers. Ultimately, we can see the agricultural land was being enhanced, and because of this, the pastoralists could not pasture their graziers. Have I made it clear, children? So, this was the first setback for the pastoralist. Secondly, the Forest Act. According to this act, the pastoralists were not allowed to enter into the forest, children. It was completely restricted. During the colonial rule, different provinces had different forest act. Because of this act, the pastoralists were restricted and forest department divided the forest into two, that is reserved forest and protected forest. Right, children? In this reserved forest, the animals were not left in, children. It was absolutely reserved and they used to grow timber over there. So nowhere in this place the cattle were allowed. As far as the protected forest is concerned, according to the customary grazing rights, these people were given the grazing field with certain conditions, children. That is, they were just the colonialist people were having a strict watch on these graziers, and finally you can see that they were given certain durations for grazing their pastures. Now the question is, why the colonial people were strict to these graziers, children? They thought that, that is their argument was that if the animals are left for grazing, then it will be said that the land will be completely empty, and of course you can't even have a grass to be grown over there in those places. So, according to the forest department, they ordered that certain legal permission will be given according to it, where these pastoralists have to graze their pastures, and they have to see to it that they are grazing the cattle with the given time. If the pastures are late, then the penalty will be taken by the forest department. It was really shameful, children, but we see these pastoralism just facing all these sequences when they were during the colonial period. Now, third point, British officials were always suspicious on the pastoralist children, on the pastoralist. Why? What is the reason for it? Now, you already know the Britishers, even though they came to India as traders initially, at the latter part, we can see to it that they started to dominate us. And they had the ultimate control on us. But the same control cannot be given to the pastoralist children, because pastoralists are not stipulated to any particular place or time. So, in order to make them to be stipulated in a particular place, they brought a act. That is, in 1857, they just termed craftsmen, right? Um, Traders and pastoralists as criminals. As criminals, and we call this as 1871 Criminal Act. So, as the pastoralists were moving from one place to another place, they were framed as criminals. So, ultimately, because of this reason, the pastoralists were forced to stay back in one single place. Right, children? So, if not at their intention, they couldn't make the pastoralists to stop. So, forcibly, they were stopped, children. Finally, the tax was imposed on land, kennel, salt, water, and even cattle, children. It was really shameful. Now, why did they do this? Why was the tax imposed on these things? The Britishers introduced these grazing tax. According to it, all the animals will be taxed, and the tax for the animals was increased day by day. So, with this increase, they thought that these people will avoid the grazing of their pastures. And not only that, children, these tax was collected by auction by a contractor. And finally, from 1850s to 1880s, you can see too much of money taken over by these contractors, children. But ultimately, after 1880s, the government, that is the British government, took over the responsibility of tax collection. And finally, you can see that there was a record of all the passes, and the pass was given to these people with the permission that they'll be just grazing the field for certain time. And there was a record of how many money they paid as a taxes. And finally, you can see that huge amount was not given, but then too the taxation was very heavy to them, children. I think I've made you clear. After the coming of the colonial rule in the pastoral life, what was the thing which they started at the initial stage. Now, with these rules and how these rules change or affect the pastoralist children, we will go with it now. Now, because of these conditions, what happened? You can see the expansion of cultivation and and because the cultivable land started to increase, so the outcome of is this, the shortage of pastures. So of course this is the end, children. So as the wasteland was made into a cultivable land, finally you can see there is a decrease in the pasturing land as such. Secondly, because of this, as they were not, that is the cattle were not getting the fodder, you can see lots of cattle died as there was scarcity of fodder. Then natural restoration, okay children, natural restoration of pastoral growth stopped. Now what is the reason, children, why this occurred? Now, as you can see that there was a restriction for the pastoralists to move from one place to another, automatically they were forced to stay back in a single place, and a land was given particularly for grazing. When the same land is given for grazing, you can see to it that the restoration of the pastoral growth is absolutely stopped because of overuse, and there is no time for the land to recover, children. Finally, you can see to it that due to intensive overgrazing, okay, intensive overgrazing, what happened? The quality of pastures declined. The quality of pastures declined. So these are the changes which affected the pastoralist. So that the starting juncture, I told the colonial rule and their impact on the pastoral life. Secondly, I told you what is that changes which affected the pastoralist. And finally, we have to see the pastoralist, how did they cope up with these changes? Because as their occupation is to be a pastoralist, they have to do one or the other thing in order to just overcome these defects whichever is done during the colonial rule, children. So what did they do? What is the solution they found out? Because of these expansion of cultivation, they just stopped, or I can just put it in this way, children, they reduced the number of cattle's, children. So they thought that if there is some reduction in the number of cattle's, at least these cattle's will be getting the expected food, and then just they can grow them in a better way. Secondly, some discovered new pasture land, children, through migration. For example, Before 1947, we had lots of pastures in Sindh. But after 1947, some of the people, as they could not stay back in Sindh because of the partition, we saw that these pastoralists just migrated towards Haryana. They were none other than the Rai caste children. They were the people who were in the Sindh, but they later on migrated to Haryana after 1947. Then, rich pastoralist. So the name itself is suggesting that they were rich. So automatically they started to buy new land and led a very settled life. So new land was bought and had a very settled life. Now what about the poor people? Now we can see to it that poor pastoralists borrowed money and they worked as a labor under the rich people. So they worked as a labor under the rich people children. So these are the things where they try to cope up with the changes. Now, after so much of restrictions, even in the modern times, you can see lots of pastoralist children. Okay, they try to combine their pastoralism with some income generating activities so that they can just see to it that their life goes on in a very positive way children. But with all these restrictions, whether the pastoralists stop just leading their life, no. Whether the pastoralists decreased in number, even for that question, I'll be saying no. It has started to increase and they are fighting at their maximum in order to get whatever their graziers wish children. So we'll just have a quick recap. Yes, children. These are the colonial rule and pastoral's life, which I just gave you in 4 points, where you had the transformation of wasteland into a cultivable land. They wanted a land revenue, and finally, some products were given importance, that is cotton, wheat, and jute. Right? Then later on, what happened? You can see these cultivable land was enhanced, and finally, there was an increase in, a decrease in the grazing ground. Then the Forest Act was started, where you have two types of forest, that is the reserved forest and the protected forest. And the pastoralists were made to move to the protected forest as far as the grazing is concerned, but reserved forest, no one were allowed, and it was very much restricted area for the pastoralist. Under the Criminal Act, which I told you, almost you do have three types of people, that is craftsmen, traders, and pastoralists, where they were termed as criminals, and because of that they were forcibly made to stay back in a single place or a permanent place, and you had certain police officials to keep an eye on them, as they were, the British people were very much suspicious on them. Yes, there was a tax, and according to this tax, the people were forced to give the money if they are not at the correct time. And not only that, you had a contractors where it was auctioned from between 1850s to 1880s, but after 1880s, the control went towards the hand of Britishers themselves. Now, what are the changes you find in the life of pastoralist? So, of course, because of this, you can see the land for grazing was decreasing drastically. And finally, you can see that there was no natural restoration of vegetation growth. And because of this, the fodder for the food and the food which was being decreasing for the animal, and it was absolutely a scarcity for the animal to have their food. And finally, you can see to it the animal stock was being deteriorated. How did they cope up? This is where children, this is where we have to really appreciate the communities of pastoralism. So whatever the problem they are getting, they are trying to face it very courageously, and they are trying to cope up with it. So on the whole, we can see that the number of cattle was reduced, and the people started to migrate from one place to another. And you can see to it that we have the rich pastoralists where they just bought the land and they started to graze their animal in their own field. The poor pastoralists who couldn't afford it, they started to just borrow the money from the rich people, and finally they became a labor to them. So much of restrictions, even though it was been given to the pastoralist, now even to this day, we can see to it the pastoral community is increasing and it is not decreasing, children. So some of the expected questions: how were the criminal tribes controlled by the British government? How did the changes brought about by colonial rule affect the life of the pastoralist? And the last one: how did the pastoralist react to the changes brought about by the colonial rule? Okay, children, I think I gave you a very clear picture about the colonial rule and the pastoral life. And we do have one more part, that is pastoralism in Africa, and it will be continued in the next class. Happy. Thank you, children. Be safe and take care.